In case you were wondering, the G League is pretty much just minor league basketball, with each G League team being affiliated with an NBA team, bar one. The arenas might be smaller, but they are without a doubt far more varied and interesting than their NBA counterparts. So with that being said, here are the NBA G League 2021-22 arenas. Toyota Arena, Agua Caliente Clippers. Despite its automotive name and the fact that it was built on the side of a speedway, the exterior is supposed to resemble the wings of an aeroplane, and I can sort of see that. Not sure it would get off the runway, but there's no sign of that on the inside, it's not quite as distinctive. I do quite like that interior wall at one end that's in place of what would have been a second tier. HEB Center at Cedar Park, Austin Spurs. Another stunning exterior, albeit very different. Stone and glass sounds like a bad combination on paper, but it works. From the outside you'd think it'd be a bit bigger, but it's quite an intimate arena, just barely a double-tiered bowl if you want to call it that. But for its size, that scoreboard is quite impressive. Legacy Arena, Birmingham Squadron. The venue is around 45 years old, but you wouldn't know it because it's fresh off a major renovation. Well, nearly a complete rebuild to accommodate the team that recently moved to Birmingham. It used to have a slightly ominous looking all-concrete exterior, but thankfully they've added a ton of windows which let in plenty of natural light throughout the concourses and even into the seating bowl itself, which looks stunning. Only those concrete pillars up top remind you that the structure itself is old. Entertainment and Sports Arena. Oh, sorry, I fell asleep reading that name. It's home to the capital city Go-Go. Now that's a name. A huge difference in the capacity from the last one. It's quite small. The clean and modern exterior is matched with a rather nice, almost industrial looking interior. Not sure if that was intentional or if it was a case of form following function. The black colour scheme complements it nicely. Gimnasio Olímpico Juan de la Barrera, Capitanes de Ciudad de Mexico. You might find it hard to believe, but I don't actually speak Spanish, that just came to me. This one dates all the way back to the 1968 Olympics. The interior has a very interesting design. 2 tiers of oval seating, heaps of windows up top, concave roof. There's nothing quite like it. Well, certainly not in this league anyway. Perhaps it's a dime a dozen in Mexico. Wallstein Center, Cleveland Charge. Compared to what we've seen so far, the exterior is a little dull. But I suppose, when in Cleveland, on the inside it's less dull, but the seats are in the colours of the college team that's played here since it was built. I'm sorry for that cheap shot, Cleveland. I'm sure it's a vibrant metropolis. I mean, a dull city wouldn't do this, would they? A smart city wouldn't either. Gateway Center Arena, College Park Skyhawks. It keeps a low profile from the outside, literally speaking, it's not very tall. And you can see why. The top of the seating is at ground level. There's just something about this arena, it has such an interesting layout. Kinda looks like it's been set up in the middle of a department store or something. I love it. Chase Fieldhouse, Delaware Bluecoats. It's just the smallest section of this building, and it does have a tiny capacity. But it might be the only arena in the league where you could play a day game without turning on the lights. They still do, of course, but, you know, if Earth Hour ever happened to coincide with the game, you're all good. Although, it's at nighttime Earth Hour, isn't it? Anyway, it's cool to see a translucent facade. Allen County War Memorial Coliseum, Fort Wayne Mad Ants. Despite being nearly 70 years old, it has one of the most extravagant designs. That has to be one of the most imposing exteriors going round. Although I should point out that it looked pretty normal before it was renovated in the early 2000s. And they literally raised the roof. You can see exactly why they did that, adding an upper deck on 2 sides. It's an extraordinary design and gives the arena a very unique look and feel. Deltaplex Arena, Grand Rapids Gold. You can't make this stuff up. We've gone from one of the most extravagant exteriors to a cube-shaped, windowless shed. But variety is the spice of life, and that's what I love about the G League venues. The interior is also rather basic. No stands behind the baselines, just wall. But it gets the job done. Greensboro Coliseum Fieldhouse, or just Swarm Fieldhouse. Greensboro Swarm. It's just a small part of a complex that includes one of the world's largest basketball arenas. It's a very simple arched roof design, but I like how it's done up in the Swarm's colours rather than matching the main arena. The ceiling does look as though they've just cut a huge silo in half, but I don't mind that. Wells Fargo Arena, Iowa Wolves. Interestingly, the arena that it replaced as the premier venue in the city is actually still standing right next door. That's what 50 years of progress looks like. The interior wouldn't look out of place in the NBA proper, with its plentiful luxury suites, sizable scoreboards, and, well, it has a bit of character, but that's certainly not an NBA requirement. RP Funding Center, Lakeland Magic. I like that Lakeland does what it says on the tin. It's a land of many lakes. I once flew all the way to Medicine Hat when I had a headache, only to be disappointed. The exterior is a little shipping container-esque, whereas the interior is more akin to a bunker with those... are they concrete walls? It is Florida, so perhaps it does double as a storm shelter. Nassau Coliseum, Long Island Nets. It was the longtime home of the New York Islanders of the NHL as well, but as of 2021, the Nets are the main tenant. Despite being quite old, the renovation in 2017 gave it that shiny exterior, and upgraded but downsized the interior. That's certainly not something the Nets would worry about. It's a fine venue for a G League team, and obviously more than enough seats. Portland Exposition Building, Maine Celtics. Ah yes, I wondered when we'd get to this one. I did mention it in one of the minor league baseball videos, for obvious reasons. It's the second oldest basketball arena still in use, and it certainly looks its age with its all-brick exterior. It's noticeably very small. In fact, the seating rises barely higher than the rim. I like that they've mimicked their Boston counterparts with a parquet floor. Landers Center, Memphis Hustle. There are some lovely classical-inspired elements to the exterior. I wonder if that's because there was an ancient city called Memphis or just a coincidence. As for the inside, it's interesting that they've left this tiny little section without seating, so it's not a complete bowl. There's probably a good reason for it, probably concert related. Wayne State Fieldhouse, Motor City Cruise. A brand new venue built for both the Cruise and Wayne State University. The exterior does look a little shed-like, but with some nice brick additions. And on the inside, although it's clearly not a shed, it does almost look like they've retrofitted a warehouse or something. It's alright. Paycom Center, Oklahoma City Blue. Also home of their big brothers OKC Thunder. So unsurprisingly, it's the biggest in the G League. And maybe some would say it's the best with its top-notch amenities, but it's certainly not as interesting as some of the others in this league. When you're squeezing nearly 20,000 people in a room, there's not much space left for character. Paramount Fine Food Center, Raptors 905. No, I didn't misspell center. The G League spans 3 countries, and this is Canada. And being Canada, this is a hockey arena first and foremost. It is a solid arena with a pretty good 4-sided scoreboard. But I like the fact that the sponsor, Paramount Fine Foods, has a location within the arena. Burt Ogden Arena, Rio Grande Valley Vipers. Rio Grande Valley Vipers. This flashy new arena built near the Mexico border has a lot going for it. The clean modern exterior is matched with more of the same on the inside, which is a horseshoe shape, and in the empty section is a bit of a red feature wall that includes a stage for concerts. Pretty cool. Well done, Burt. Lifetime Activities Center, Salt Lake City Stars. A much more toned down exterior here, and that's because it's on a college campus. On the inside, well, it's something you might see at any high school across the country. Retractable seating, not much to say. Kaiser Permanente Arena, Santa Cruz Warriors. This is a very simple arena, which comes as no surprise considering it cost just $3.5 million to build. I mean, that's a lot of money for an individual to have, but for an arena, that's dirt cheap. However, it does have everything you need. A court, and a roof. Also, the spectators may have been walking along the nearby Santa Cruz boardwalk all day, so seats are probably necessary as well. Sanford Pentagon, Sioux Falls Skyforce. They're not lying, that is a pentagon if ever I've seen one. But it's not just the exterior that's unique. On the inside there's 9 basketball courts. But the one in the center where Skyforce games take place has a real retro vibe to it, hence its name Heritage Court. I love it, those corners especially. So unique. UCLA Health Training Center, South Bay Lakers. I'm loving the exterior, but on the inside, it's comfortably the smallest in the league with less than 1,000 seats, and that's because it was primarily designed as a training facility for the LA Lakers. Those seats are just the retractable ones, but it's a pretty cool place overall. Stockton Arena, Stockton Kings. The waterfront venue features a rather nice combination of metallic cladding, some red cladding that looks like brick from a distance, and plenty of glass on its exterior. There's an interesting layout on the inside with the luxury suites being distinctly separate from the rest of the arena. They're basically balconies hovered above everyone else. Looks good. Comerica Center, Texas Legends. Located next to one of the more interesting ballparks of minor league baseball, this arena is a little inconspicuous by comparison. It's primarily the practice facility of the Dallas Stars, hence the green seats. I thought for a second they had like 20 screens up there, but it's just illuminated adverts. Westchester County Center, Westchester Knicks. The second oldest arena in the league, and just like the one in Maine, they've preserved that old school look, albeit a completely different old school look. It seems to be a basic arched roof design surrounded by a grand Art Deco facade. The interior is fascinating. There's a stage for performance art, but they actually put seats up there. I love that, making the most of what they have. The Knicks also play at Webster Bank Arena over in Connecticut, which from some angles looks like an industrial city in Siberia. No, that's unfair. It actually looks rather nice with its lighthouses. They're due to the minor league hockey team that plays here, the Bridgeport Islanders, who are affiliated with the New York Islanders. And their new arena has lighthouses as well. And that was today's Lighthouse Update. Tune in next week where we'll be going through all the different types of light bulbs that are most frequently used in the lighthouses of the northeastern United States. It should be an electrifying episode. Now Arena, Windy City Bulls. I like that. Instead of changing the team's nickname, use the city's nickname instead. Speaking of changing names, the arena used to be the Sears Center. But, well, I'm not even American and I know that Sears went bankrupt. It's a venue that has never really had a main tenant. It's hosted nearly a dozen teams from different sports over the years, but the Bulls lay claim to it as of now. Oshkosh Arena, Wisconsin Herd. Located on the shores of the curiously named Lake Winnebago, which one came first? In the curiously named city of Oshkosh, which one came first? It's a fairly new... hang on. That's not it, is it? Oh, these are old shots. That building was torn down and the arena looks like this. Much better. Come to think of it, it would actually be kinda cool if you had an exterior that looked like a rusty old warehouse, and then on the inside it looked like this. I like those little elevated sections. They probably serve some special purpose, but I can't be bothered looking it up because it's the end of the video. Oh, not quite. There's also a team called the NBA G League Ignite. They are a nomadic people, mostly NBA prospects who want to get paid, rather than playing college basketball. And yeah, they play other G League teams, but they don't have their own arena. And that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, have a good one.